Hello and welcome to episode 98 of the Powerpod. You're here with your hosts, Mark and Owen, yet again.
Hello there.
What's the crack? This is one of our in-between episodes. In between, that is, recommended films. This time we have an eclectic mix. We're losing connection.
Which one's my headphone? Oh, this one. Okay, there you go.
All right, it's all good. Yeah, we have an eclectic mix of films that we're going to talk about.
Wide range.
A wide range. We are spanning the rainbow-esque gamut of whatever we ended up watching this film.
Lots of power topics.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of.
Well, yeah. Yeah, how you been?
I've been good. Have you learned anything this week, Mark?
No.
No.
Have you?
I learned something.
What'd you learn?
Do you know that nutmeg is a psychedelic?
I heard. I had this idea that it was something like a. What is it? In when it's at home.
It's a
spice, is it?
It's a spice.
Yeah.
You probably listener. Go if you're realistically, if you're renting a gaff, you probably don't have this in your cabinet. But go to your ma's spice rack and see if they have any nutmeg. Because if you take 2 teaspoons of that, you will trip balls. Apparently.
Is that what you did?
No. I was like, fuck
You
no.
just started trying all the spices.
Yeah.
Did you know nutmeg is a psychedelic?
No, I found out some TikTok came up for me, and this is this woman was talking about how she was making cookies, and fuck's sake, I did it again. She was making cookies, and she just fucked in what she thought was a load of cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
My God, cinnamon.
I was eating loads of cinnamon this week.
How come?
So one of the girls in work just brought in loads of cinnamon buns.
Fair.
And I had
Hopefully they weren't nutmeg.
nutmeg buns. You're just there tripping
Yeah.
balls in work.
Well, this is what your woman was saying. Is she made all these
Oh.
cookies with loads of nutmeg in them,
Mm.
and she didn't realize it was nutmeg, and she was eating them, and they tasted mad metallic, and she was like, "What the fuck? This is wrong." So then she put icing on it and just ate loads of them, and then an hour later started tripping balls. You hallucinate.
What? What do you?
I don't know. I haven't tried it, so I don't know what you hallucinate. But
we should try that for an episode.
yeah, just have a lot of
Overdose
nutmeg.
on nutmeg.
Well, because I searched it up afterwards. It's fuck, is nutmeg
Poisonous.
poisonous?
Mm.
There's one recorded death, but it's a 9-year-old, so it doesn't really count.
What the fuck? A poor kid. Talking about embarrassing things that happen to you. Overdosing on nutmeg.
OD'd on nutmeg, yeah.
My God.
But yeah, it's a psychedelic,
That's crazy.
which I can't believe that you can just buy that in Tesco.
Yeah, sure. You can make homemade. It's not like LSD. It's psychedelic. If you get the skins off of orange, you know the thing. And if you let it you put it in the sun, and you let it get all moldy and stuff. After 2 or 3 weeks, apparently it gets really crusty, and you can eat it, and it makes you trip balls apparently. So they can't control the orange supply, man.
no, man, that's untapped potential in the
Yeah.
psychedelic market.
It's all natural, bro.
There's because because it's not illegal to go picking mushrooms either, is it?
No,
I'm saying that now, and I mean maybe it is.
I don't think it is. No.
Because you can go and do that, but I wouldn't do that just because I just know for a fact that I end up picking something that you're not meant to pick.
I'd definitely die. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I would just die. It'd be something that happened to me. I'd die.
yeah. That talking about embarrassment to die, bro. When picking shrooms, I ended up picking I don't know what's a really dangerous mushroom. I'm sure there's one really famous one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Toad's bell end. So I picked some toad's bell end and I got fucked up.
You got fucked by the toes balloon.
Oh man,
That's not good.
it goobered me. It did.
Yeah, but think of who had to die for them to figure out which was poisonous and which was not.
Trial and error.
How many people had to die for that? You know? Obviously it goes back millennia. How long?
Thousands and thousands of years.
Probably a million years.
Yeah.
But you're obviously going to forget about all
How
that
long?
stuff.
When were humans hunter gatherers? That's the answer.
Yeah. And even now, it's not really common knowledge. There's people you can go up to and ask, and they'll show you and stuff. But you wouldn't want to go near those people.
No. No.
No. But what if someone just randomly decides, I'm gonna go picking mushrooms, and they just fucking till they die? Is that a thing?
If you're I feel like if you just randomly go off and decide I'm gonna go pick some mushrooms and not do any research, That's just natural selection at that stage.
Yeah, it's like going into a bear den or something.
Yeah, or like, you know, doing like just running into traffic and hoping that you don't get hit.
Yeah. Fair warning anyway, fair dinkum. Nutmeg.
Nutmeg, yeah.
Stay away.
Or
Partake.
I'd like for someone else to try it first, and then I'll be like, I'll consider it then.
We have to test it next episode. We should test it for episode 100. We just take a mega dose at the start.
Just the two of us like, oh.
So many zeros in the title.
Oh my god. What are we talking about? Man, I can hear voices in my head.
We're just like recording the entire podcast in our heads, but it's only been like 10 seconds.
But apparently it's like, it's... See, the thing is as well, like, and I feel like with most, you know, psychedelics and stuff like that, that if like you're unaware of what you're after taking, you'll just go paro and you'll like get fucked up. Like that's what your mom was saying. She was like, I started getting like extremely anxious, and I legitimately thought I was gonna die. I was like, well, yeah, obviously you're gonna get anxious if you convince yourself that fuck I'm after poisoning myself.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, it's the same with like, you know, psychedelics and stuff like that. If you're not in the headspace beforehand,
Same with all things. Yeah. You have to know what you're doing. You know.
You got illicit substances, you know.
Yeah, they're controlled for a reason. You know.
Fact, bro.
Facts.
Although I guess like even if you are aware, sometimes it can still just fuck you
Oh
up.
yeah, of course. See that every Saturday night. What?
Yeah, too well, what? On the patsy, man.
Stop. But yeah, that's weird. That's an interesting fact. I'll have to invest.
Yeah, and I went to go look at the nutmeg, you know, containers. Like, is there a warning on this? No warning. But I guess like if there was a warning, people would take it to 100% then.
Yeah.
2 teaspoons apparently is all that you need.
That's a lot of nutmeg, isn't it? That's like half a thing of oil, no?
I guess it is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of nutmeg, but
How much is one of them cost? €2?
$2.50 or something, so it's 2 trips. I wonder, like, I think, because you are basically poisoning your body, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be...
So is drinking as well, as you're saying.
So I suppose,
poisoning your body, you know.
Caffeine is also...
Is it? Caffeine's supposed to be healthy for you. I've seen
so is water, and you can die from that.
Yeah, what is healthy, really, when you think about it?
I like the amount of things that are just like TikTok just feeds like, this is really bad for you, this is really bad for you. It's like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, after certain saturation points, like, yeah, I don't care if it's bad, you know.
Apparently, breathing with your mouth is dangerous for you. Go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, well that's well known. Yeah. That's really bad for your. It's bad for your teeth. Your teeth can fall out.
I don't care.
You know, and it's bad for your bite.
I have
I mouth breathe at night. It's
an
affliction which I've never managed to curtail.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I'm a nose breather during the night most of the time, but I think.
Do you snore?
No.
No, yeah, I don't snore. It's really weird.
Apparently, though, I'm like when I'm asleep, I'm like. I don't know why I closed my eyes to do that, but
It would have been weird if you kept them like wide open. Yeah. Sometimes I stop breathing for a while, apparently, and then I just go. Oh my God. Yeah. Sleep apnea.
Why do you? Okay, right. How come boys do that thing where like when we're falling asleep, we just like jolt?
Girls do that as well.
I feel like boys do it more. I feel like boys are more known to do that.
Are they?
I feel like it is. I feel like it's the thing that boys just jolt in their sleep more.
Orla does that. It's so funny.
It kind of freaks me out.
He's like,
You having a bad dream?
Yeah, bad trip. Hey, look, I'm a demon in the corner.
You having fucking sleep paralysis? You bitch.
Jeez.
Oh God. I mean, fucking. I think. What would you do if you bumped into someone that was sleepwalking?
That was sleepwalking. Wake them up.
Why are you not meant to wake them up?
Oh wait, yeah, you're not supposed to make, because they get violent, isn't it?
I can take it.
Start fighting a guy who's asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put him back to sleep, I will.
Get back into bed. Well, I forgot you're not supposed to wake them up.
Is it that they get violent?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, they can start hitting things. But have you ever known anyone sleepwalks? Have you ever sleepwalked?
I have
sleepwalked.
Yeah, I've sleepwalked.
Really? I did once. It was so embarrassing. Really embarrassing.
Why were you naked?
Yeah, I was stark naked.
Ah.
I was bollock naked. But I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, well, you're sleepwalking. Yeah, someone I know told me the story of their sister's boyfriend was sleepwalking in the house, and was completely naked. Walked into the mom's room and just stood there over her bed. The mom wakes up and just like her daughter's boyfriend is just standing over her.
That's so
completely naked, just staring at her.
That's terrifying.
Bro,
that's awful. You can't really recover from that.
Oh, I don't think there's any.
Like you have to break up the next day.
What you always tell me is that like, the mom like screamed or whatever, and then he like walked. He went into the bathroom, took a piss, and just walked away. And 20 minutes later, you could hear a taxi pull up, and he ran outside and got into the taxi.
Oh my god!
And then the mom was like to the daughters, was like, "Here, either he comes back tomorrow, and we discuss this, or he's never allowed into the house again."
Yeah, because like sleepwalking. That's like also you kind of have to prove or like explain why.
Yeah.
It's like, were you sleepwalking? Because like that's one of those weird situations.
Like you need a big apology for that, even though it's like you can't.
Even though
you know.
But that's so weird. Apparently, I sleep with my eyes open quite often. That's one of my things.
Really?
Yeah. I sleep with my eyes open.
I talk in my sleep a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I do as well.
I have also like not when anyone's beside the bed beside me, but I can sometimes move in my sleep. And I remember one time I was having this like bad dream where like I can't remember what it was, but these things like rushing towards me, like these faces, and I just swung in the dream to like just take one of them out, and I woke up like because I actually
with your hand in the air.
I full on punched, like I was sleeping on my side, and I punched into the middle of the bed. Like if there's someone there, I was gonna fucking. And I mean, man, I swung. Well, like I was proper afraid in the dream, so I was swinging with all my. I was fighting for your life, like. And
if you hadn't swung, you probably wouldn't have woken up.
I would have woken. I never would have woken up. It would have caught me. But just swung across the bed with all my might, and I woke myself up with that, and I was like, "Fuck! Thank God, there's no one in the bed beside me."
Yeah, imagine getting woken up by like
someone just
punches you, full force in the chest or something. Or in the back.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Like the back of the head, I could kill someone like.
That's the most embarrassing way to die, or to commit murder. Like,
there's no way. How do you explain that?
Yeah, you can't. It's like, Judge, Your Honor, you have to believe me.
I swear to God.
Yeah, like you'd have to plead guilty because it's just like.
How many crimes do you think have been committed while sleepwalking?
Oh, so many, so many. It's very often, I'm sure. Because some people just get violent and stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's mad. I never thought about that. Is there like a special court you gotta go to?
The sleep court. Yeah, and it's the dream court.
Dream court.
You will be sentenced to 100 years dream prison. You can't wake up for 100 years.
Yeah,
But like then you wake up in some,
or you can
it's
never
only
sleep.
2 seconds.
You can never sleep.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
You know that, like, I think it's just a creepypasta. I don't know if it's real or not, but like, is that a real thing with the like Russian sleep deprivation experiments?
That's definitely fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a creepypasta.
So
That's a good story though.
Oh, great story.
It's like, what was it? They come back and they're like, this is hell or something like that, or we're in hell. They like scrawl it on the wall in their own blood.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I can't remember the ins and outs of it. I just like the idea of a Russian sleep experiment.
It sounds pretty cool, yeah. But that happens all the time in Guantanamo Bay and all. They keep them awake purposely.
Yeah.
It's to fuck them up, see what happens. Yeah.
What happens to you? I'm sure you start hallucinating and stuff like that.
You start hallucinating, start dying. You get Alzheimer's after like a few weeks.
I was going to say your brain is probably the thing that dies.
Your brain starts to break down. There's actually a disease or a condition, or it's not a disease. Well, what's it? Can you catch the disease? You can't necessarily catch the disease. Like Alzheimer's disease, you can't catch that. That's just a genetic thing. But there's a...
Yeah, why is it called a disease then? It's more of a condition.
Yeah. I think disease is a generic term for just random things.
But I guess cancer is a disease.
Yeah, you can't catch cancer. Yeah. But anyway, there's this condition or disease.
I'm going to look up the definition of disease. Go on.
Depending on your interpretation of the word, there's this condition called fatal familial insomnia, where there's like, I think there's 4 or 5 families in the world where after they reach a certain point in like maturity where they just suddenly stop sleeping. They're like suddenly unable to sleep. Like they physically can't be put to sleep, even if you put sedatives into them. Like another way for like if you're put to sleep for an operation, you're not sleeping. Like you wake up and your brain won't have been asleep.
Yeah.
Your body's sedated, so you feel like you're asleep, but you're not properly. Like you don't recover the same way that you would. These people can be sedated, but they can't actually. Their brain doesn't go into sleep mode. They never get REM. So they like, but like once it starts, there's no stopping it. There's no cure. There's no way to. You basically just have to like end your bloodline or whoever those people are. They basically just like there's no. To have kids would probably be immoral, you know. But it's a real thing where they suddenly they're unable to sleep and they die within about 9 months. But like they progress very quickly to like Alzheimer's after like 2 or 3 months, and then it's just kind of managing the disease.
Yeah.
You know, ushering them to the pearly gates.
That's fuck that.
Yeah, but there was this guy in World War One. He got shot in the head, in the middle of a battle. He's this Hungarian guy, and he never slept again, but he was fine. A total medical anomaly.
Weird.
You can look this up. It's actually true. They think the part of the brain that kind of triggers sleep or that needs it or something like that was just blown away, and he never had a need to sleep. Obviously, that's like a long time ago. There's no like medical. There wasn't a proper study done on him, but he seemed to get on fine. But like never felt the urge to sleep.
Yeah.
You know.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. It's still a mystery, you know.
Yeah, weird things. The brain is fucking complicated and weird. Just the definition of disease: a disorder of structure or function in a human, animal, or plant, especially one that produces specific symptoms or that affects a specific location and is not simply a direct result of physical injury. So, disease is not something you can develop a disease, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
But so, what's the condition then?
I don't know.
Look at it up as well.
Yeah, we're getting into our putting our medical caps on. Condition is just generic, isn't it? It's like his condition is stable. His condition is fucked.
Condition simply indicates a state of health, whether ill or well. A condition conferring illness might be further classified as a disease or a disorder. Anyway.
Disorder. That's the word we were thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
A sleep disorder. Well, kind of. It's still disease.
Yeah, still disease.
Anyway, I'd hate to be those people.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, when you were saying that about the guy getting shot in the head, it made me remember something, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, sleep, pretty important. Oh, yeah, now I remember what it was. You know that thing that we don't need, like, 8 hours of sleep? That's not real.
How's that not real?
Like, you can... Who was it? Was it Edison? Maybe it was Edison. You only have to enter, like, that REM cycle like once or twice or like 3 times in a 24-hour cycle.
Yeah.
But so like you can just like fall asleep for like an hour, get up, walk around fine. When you get a little bit tired again, sleep for an hour, get up, walk around. Then you get tired again. Like you could just keep doing that. Like just basically take naps and you're fine.
Yeah.
But we can't do that because you got to work 9 to 5 and you can't really sleep and work.
Yeah,
so you have to do it all in one go.
Yeah, U.S. military trains their elite squadrons and stuff like that. Their Marines to sleep in 20-minute power naps. You know, because like I always thought, like if you're in the middle of a battle, like maybe you're gonna die tomorrow, like you're gonna be thinking that. Like how do you? Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
There's ways to do it.
There's ways to do it, yeah. But like they're trained. They train them to be able to. Also, to sleep with your eyes open. That's a thing. You can train yourself to do that. I have the...
For what need?
I don't know.
What possible need without for that?
Thinking about it, yeah, I don't know why you'd ever need that.
You're asleep, like you can't see anything.
Yeah, but you kind of can't.
Looks cool.
Yeah, I was asleep the entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20-minute bursts, because it does the same thing. As long as you get to your REM, you know.
Yeah.
But like some people do need more. I wouldn't be able to do naps. I can't do naps. I go for an hour and I'm like I wake up and I'm like I'm not getting out of bed. Like I just couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
It's such like it is climbing a mountain every single day when I get out of bed for work.
Yeah.
Just getting up. Well, not getting up just in general, but like that's just depression. On a weekend it's grand, but getting up like 8 a.m. or whatever, like it's the hardest part of my day.
Yeah.
I couldn't just do naps.
The start.
Yeah. Just waking up.
I think I'm just there, as I told you. I think I'm just gonna change my alarm clock to just be Joey Diaz just screaming. I was like, "Get up, cocksucker! It's time to start the day." Then there's no stopping me then.
Yeah. Just leap out of bed.
Time to get up and get your dick sucked. It's like, Joey, you work from home. I can't do that.
Joey, please.
No, Joey, please.
Please understand.
But yeah, no, sleep, mad. Different states of mind, mad.
Yes, psychedelic sleep.
Weird.
Hmm.
Hypnosis.
Maybe this was all a dream. Do you believe in hypnosis?
I would fucking love for someone to hypnotize me, just
Yeah.
to know. I would love to know.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of believe in it.
I have seen too much of it. I feel like it's too much of a thing for it to not be real.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Uh-huh.
I feel like there's too many examples of people being hypnotized that they can't all be in on it. You know?
Yeah. The conspiracy's too big. It's like 9/11 being an inside job.
Yeah.
There's too many people involved.
There's way too many factors.
Yeah.
Surely one of these people would have fucking been like, "Oh, I was lying."
Yeah. It's like that, the guy who killed RFK, like Robert Kennedy. Sirhan. He's released 2 years ago. Still denies that he ever did it.
But he definitely did.
But like, the theory was that he was hypnotized by the CIA. And I completely forget what supporting facts there are, but there are some supporting facts which are like, that's a bit weird.
But that's
or there's no like solid proof that he did it or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the major cases where it's like this guy did not seem to be acting as he normally did, but for some reason did this, and that seems to have no memory of it happening.
That's what like I'm reading that or listening to that Manson book. That's like what Manson did. He used like LSD, like basically CIA. I still haven't gotten to the stage where where the dude's gone into that bit. It's a fucking long audiobook, but
Audiobook.
yeah. Oh my god, it's so long. It's like 6 or 7 hours left. But he where I assume it's going is that like the CIA trained him. Like he was like a Unabomber case where like he had been experimented on with LSD and brainwashing and stuff like that, and then he just went out and he like used those techniques that were used on him on the Manson family.
Yeah. I suppose if someone's in a vulnerable state on drugs or whatever, it's pretty easy to kind of get them to do what you want. No,
I think
which is fucked.
Brainwashing's crazy.
Yeah, but that's definitely real.
Oh yeah, what's
the difference between brainwashing and hypnotism? Kind of the same thing, aren't they?
I feel like hypnotism is temporary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like it's still embedded. Like the whole Manchurian Candidate thing. It's like your fucking trigger word. They say it out of nowhere, and then you suddenly remember all the stuff that you've been that you were taught under hypnotism when you're hypnotized, and then you're activated. That's the theory for Sirhan.
I don't know. What is it? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like brainwashing's more fucked up though.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more, like you can do more if you're brainwashing someone.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can brainwash a series of things. We're all brainwashed, man. You can see it.
That's it. Yeah, mass hypnotization. But we don't even see
media, man.
We're so deeply brainwashed, we don't even see it. Think about it.
We don't see the alternatives.
Yeah.
Peak. That's perfectly timed. Speaking of hypnosis, I watched Get Out this week.
Oh, that was a very serendipitous segue.
Yeah, because I was trying to do it a bit earlier on, and then we just set up a hypnosis.
Oh, I see where it was going.
But no, yeah, I watched Get Out after watching Nope last week. And as we were talking about last week, yeah, Get Out's alright. Like, it's pretty good. My opinion on the film has changed quite a bit. This film is a lot better than I remember it being. And I think it's like a few things. Like, obviously, I'm just like a bit older, appreciate films for different things. Also, this time, that screenplay, my God. He won an Oscar for that screenplay, and like watching it now, I'm like,
did he?
Oh, yeah.
Get Out got Oscar for
screenplay. Yeah.
That's mad.
And you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, fuck, I can see why.
Yeah.
There's like loads of shit that I just did not pick up on the first time.
Like what?
How like the people that are like, what are they? They're like,
the white people.
They're not brainwashed, but the white people are in the, in the black people's bodies.
Oh,
they I did not call. I don't like think about it, or maybe I just completely forgot that they all talk with like white accents.
Yeah.
To the point where like Keith Stanfield's character, he shows up, and Daniel Kaluuya's like, "What's up, man?" He goes to like give him a fist bump, and the guy just like shakes his fist bump. And then later on, Daniel Kaluuya takes a photo of Lakeith Stanfield, and he like snaps out of it, and his actual accent comes out. And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here, bro! Get out, get out!" But like he's talking like, you know, Lakeith Stanfield, and then he's just like, "I'm sorry about that, everyone. I had a bit of a tizzy," like stuff like that. Even later on, when Daniel Kaluuya is talking to the housemaid, and he's talking to her, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I wouldn't snitch on you like that." And she's like, "Snitch?" And he's like, "Yeah, rat you out." And she goes, "Oh, tattletale." And it's just like, oh, it's just like, it's just white people, how white people talk. How like rich white people talk.
Tattletale.
Yeah, I'm like, we're gonna tattletale on you.
Such a mouthful.
And just like little kind of microaggressions and stuff like that are in the film. I think part of it as well is I think we're in there's a hair on my mic. We're in like a post, 2021, 2020, 2022 like Black Lives Matter movement. So, I've been educated a lot more through like social media on this type of stuff, and I'm watching it now. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, no, this is like, I understand it a bit better now.
Yeah,
so
the
like,
subtleties of it.
You can see way more of the subtleties, like just little things, and like not like blatantly obvious stuff for like, the dad of the family like turns to Daniel Kaluuya and is like, "You know what, man? If I could, I'd vote for Barack Obama the third time."
yeah, that was good.
There's like there's bits like that. It's like, you know what? I knew Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is the best golfer I've ever seen. And just like, oh, are you good at basketball? Are you, and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like there's like way less more subtle ones like that are in the film, and even just like the like paranoia and like tension throughout the film it's kind of it is basically a cult film, it is like a cult film, and it has that like the thing that I love in, I was gonna say, cult horror, like isn't specifically horror about cults as opposed to the
cult films.
Cult films. Like that's just that like of realization that like fuck, everyone here is in on this, and like there's something really awful going on here.
Yeah,
and like
despair. Yeah,
and just like slowly peeling back the layers to it. It's like, oh, it's so well done, and like it's so well acted. My God, it's such a well acted film.
Daniel Kaluuya, what a guy.
Daniel Kaluuya, all the white family that's in it. Can't remember any of the names of the actors, but like they're all fantastic. Especially his girlfriend in it. I don't know what her name is, but she's fantastic in it. She does that like white woman crying thing really well. That's
What's
like
that?
You know the thing that like, you ever seen that clip of it's like white women in like everywhere will like can do this thing where like they'll pull out the phone and call the police and just like immediately go into hysterics, even though there's nothing actually, like they're not in any actual danger.
Oh right, yeah.
Like she does stuff like that throughout the film. It's like like that. The clip that comes to mind is remember that clip of the guy with the dog, and your woman just pulls out her phone, and she's like screaming down the phone like, "He's trying to kill me," and he's literally like not moving towards it. He's like, "He's coming after me," and she's like, "I'm sorry, I voted for Obama," and stuff like that afterwards.
Yeah, she lost her job now.
Oh fucking hell. But like just like watching the film, is like this film came out and obviously this is an ongoing issue throughout American history. But like just like watching it now, it's like things that we've seen videos that came out after this film that are like things that happen in this film, or like things that are like alluded to in this film. Really, it's. I still think Nope is a better film, but
that's what I was about to ask that.
Yeah, no, Nope is still a better film, but fuck me, Get Out is such a fantastic first film.
Nope is better than Get Out. That's big. Like that's still big for me,
Yeah,
because Get Out was huge, and I really liked it as well.
That's just my opinion. You know?
Yeah, well, I have to.
Imo.
I'm going to go see Nope, so I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, you.
No, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I've already told everyone to expect the best. So.
Oh, fuck.
I said I sold it as its own film of the year, and everyone was like, "Sign me up."
Everyone's like, "Oh fuck that! I'm not watching this. Film's gonna bomb now because of that."
Single-handedly negated the entire marketing budget of Nope.
Yeah, Powerbot took it down.
Oh god.
But no, even and the whole stuff as well of like, oh, we can be perfect because we can have the brain of a white man and the body of a black man. It's like perfect.
What?
Like the perfect
Oh,
specimen
yeah.
is in the film. It's like, oh,
What the fuck?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Americans, man.
Yeah, they're fucked.
Yanks.
Oh, those goddamn Yanks.
Uh,
But yeah, great film. Hot take. Get Out is a good film.
Get Out is good.
Better than what I remembered it being.
That's the verdict from the Power Pod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the first time we talked about it, isn't it?
I said it like last week, but like this is the first time we've properly talked about Get Out.
Mm.
Because like I remember like liking Get Out
Yeah.
and thinking it was good, but I kind of thought that it was like overhyped. And when I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's good, but like, you know, like, good. But like watching it now, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that a lot more now. I'm like, yeah, there is like just like the general horror in the film is very good, and the like paranoia of like this guy just being in a literally in a, he needs to get out. You know, he's in the worst situation imaginable for him. And then all the liberal racism is I guess the liberal side of racism. I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's not, it's not KKK members coming to get him.
yeah, like Tarantino caricature kind of racism, and then it's like, oh, then they beat him back.
Yeah,
it is much more subtle.
Yeah,
depiction.
way more subtle. And then obviously there's like blatant shit as well.
Oh yeah,
with like it's such a weird type of racism where it's like you're being too nice.
it's the mainstream strand of racism, isn't it? Yeah.
The one that is like people would argue isn't racist.
yeah. Which is it's like reflects back. It's like, no, that is. You know, it's like like you're treating them differently.
Yeah.
You know?
You wouldn't say that to someone else. Like or like, you know, like you like if you're an American, no, I guess that they would. Yeah, it's like Irish. They'd say the Irish people like, "Oh, I love Conor McGregor and stuff like that." It's like
racists.
But you know, it's just like we like trying to connect with me or with like someone, and obviously like, you know, it's not applicable, but like trying to connect with someone over the stereotype rather than like who they are as a person.
It's not as evil, but it's just like more microaggression.
Yeah, it's
to
just,
use that lingo.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's just like really fucking weird.
Yeah, condescending.
Really condescending. Yeah.
Even when Americans do it, it's like, oh, I don't, because obviously it's not that bad, but it's just like, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, do you like Guinness? Like, oh, fuck yourself.
It's pretty a million times worse when it's like people that you've grown up with and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? We're the same person. Like,
yeah, we're from the same country.
We're from the same community. Like, what the fuck?
I live across the road from
yeah.
Yanks though. They're such bleeding Americans. Did you watch anything this week?
I watched this terrible film called Ants. Ants with an exclamation mark at the end. It's also called The Panic at Locker Lake or something like that. It's a made for TV. Owen's already yawning because this is shit film. It's a made for TV ABC.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah,
ABC
70s American movie. And it's a horror film. It's about ants that take over a town. They're not giant ants. They're just ants. They're just generic ants, small ants.
What's the name of that giant that monster movie? Is it Them?
Yeah. I wouldn't have got that. Yeah, it's Them though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one with the the 50s one with the giant ants.
Yeah, the big huge ants.
Yeah. I think that's Them.
A remake of that film. Surely there is.
It seems like something they couldn't really remake. Like you couldn't do a dark reboot of Them. It's like giant ants everywhere. What the fuck?
Yeah, I suppose you couldn't.
Yeah, but Ants anyway is it's about this small town by a lake, and there's some themes of gentrification and stuff like that. You know, there's this developer in town. It follows like 3 different couples, which is kind of annoying, but they kind of plays it off. There's this developer in town, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna knock all this shit down. I'm gonna buy this like community space and like knock it down and turn it into a hotel or like something like that." It was prescient in its kind of prediction of the Irish housing market in 2022. I don't know if that was intentional, but it'd be the writer. No, literally nobody's in this either. The director isn't famous or anything. There's no famous actors. It's just a film that I saw on like the internet.
It's just a pure TV film.
It's just a TV film that just like disappeared into the ether as soon as the transmission ended. You know? No one has watched this film since until I did today.
You've recovered a lost film.
This is a lost film, yeah, but like no one was looking for it. That's the difference. No one cared.
It's a thrown away film as opposed to a lost film.
Yeah, it's in the bin. Like I fucking fished it out. But yeah, so they're like there's this builder guy and he's digging in a pit, and all of a sudden his colleagues they like lose the feeling in their legs and they start falling down, and one of them like just dies, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And for a while they think it's like a virus, and for a while the town is quarantined. They have the CDC on the phone, and it's almost developing into like a pandemic film, you know. It was that kind of vibe, but it's not. It's actually the ants which have basically evolved to utilize toxic waste and chemicals and like kind of pollutants from pesticides and things that are just generic, like generally in the soil and the water in built up industrial areas. And they've taken these chemicals and these waste products and turned them against the humans, because of course the ants suffer because of what we've done to the earth, you know. But in this film, they've turned it. The tables have turned totally unexpectedly. The tables have turned.
How did they come up with it?
And now it's an ecological film.
Where's this film from?
77 or something.
Man, I wish I was a screenwriter in the 50s and 60s and 70s.
We would have cleaned up.
Shit out a fucking script and it's completely fine.
It's the same themes as Godzilla, to be fair. But obviously none of the thematic weight or historical importance. Plus, there's a made-for-TV film. It's not very good.
Fuck, I'm about to get paid.
Yeah, oh no, we would have cleaned up in the 70s. You know, it's watching this film. But yeah, the ants basically take over the town, because once you have like 100 ants on them, that's the thing. Like the ants themselves aren't really threatening, because there needs to be you can be covered in the ants, and then they kill you. But other than that, like they're just normal ants.
Is there a bit where like someone gets swarmed by ants and then the ants like go away and it's just bones left?
No.
Come on.
It's really there's like no effects at all. Like the people when people are being attacked by ants, they just put loads of ants on them and they're crawling around and stuff. And then if they die, they just kind of fall over. But yeah, the ants take over the town and they call them the army and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's defeated by the builder, the working class builder. And the greedy developer is obviously eaten alive by the ants.
Good.
And everyone lives happily ever after. And that's the end of the film.
That sounds dog shit, man. Pure yana here.
It was actually terrible.
It
was rubbish.
Like, that just sounds like a film that doesn't have anything going for it.
It's the kind of film that
even the title and
like it doesn't. There's no description. Nothing jumps out at you.
Could they just remotely come up with a different name or like anything?
Well, they did have a different name. It was The Panic at Locker Lake or something.
Which is another shit name as well.
Yeah, Ants is like the European release title, I think. It's not the original title.
And then was it DreamWorks? Who did the actual Ants film then?
The
real Ants.
Yeah.
It's not Pixar.
With a Z.
Yeah, because Pixar did Bug's Life at the time.
Oh, yeah. DreamWorks, yeah, it must have been DreamWorks.
It must have been DreamWorks.
Yeah. That's a much better film, I have to say.
That's a much weirder fucking film. I don't think I've ever seen that film.
You've never seen Ants?
Like, I've seen it, but I haven't seen it.
I've never seen Ants.
Like, I've seen bits of it, but I've
never...
never...
the hot ant?
The dude or the girl? You with the hunk?
The hunk? Oh, the big ant.
The big ant.
Yeah.
Or the sexy ant.
The Larry the Lobster ant.
Yeah. He actually looks like the image of him.
Yeah. Yeah, Ants is a way better movie. I haven't seen that in years, to be fair, but I used to watch it all the time. All the time. 2 or 3 years ago, it was my go-to movie.
I never watched it. I probably should watch it, to be fair.
Nah, it's alright.
It's not on anything though.
Yeah,
So-
you don't need to watch it.
No,
like.
no. It's like saying you go out of your way to watch A Bug's Life. It's like, yeah, it's good, but like,
Yeah, it's alright. Like, yeah,
it's a B tier Pixar film.
yeah. Uh-huh.
We C, B or C. B. I'll be kinder to
I think it's a B. Yeah,
I enjoy A Bug's Life.
it has heart.
What do you think is a like bottom tier DreamWorks and Pixar films?
Bottom tier.
And then what's top tier?
Bottom tier Pixar films, definitely most of the recent ones
Cars
that I've seen.
2.
Cars. I didn't like all the Cars ones obviously are dog shit.
Yeah.
I didn't like what was the one where they're inside our head, Inside Out. I thought that was rubbish.
Yeah.
I have to say that's a very unpopular opinion. I thought that film was rubbish.
That's a C tier for me.
A C tier. I thought
it's
that's
not dog shit, but it's like
that's for me. Well, yeah, I wouldn't say
yeah.
any of them are really dog shit. Like
except for Cars 2. That film's dog shit. That film is legit dog shit. So fucking bad.
Yeah, and like the Planes franchise and all that stuff. You know,
I don't think that's Pixar. I think that's just
Disney.
That's just
animation,
Disney. Disney TV basically.
Yeah. Inside Out, I wasn't a big fan of. I don't really know.
Let me pull up a list.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
Because I know I did this a while ago. Create a Pixar tier list. Come on.
It's for your own
load.
enjoyment.
Yeah. Was this my one? Yeah, this was my one.
Oh, cool.
I didn't set it as a B tier. No, it's just C tier.
You just relegated Inside Out before our very
I had a
eyes.
Bug's Life in C. I hear. We switch them around. There you go.
Oh wait, Monsters University. That is dog shit tier.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that film is terrible.
I prefer that to Finding Dory.
I've never seen Finding Dory too far.
Good Dinosaur is fucking F tier. That film is so bad. That film is so bad.
I still haven't seen Incredibles 2. Is it that bad? Is it better than or worse than Monsters University? Because Monsters University was rubbish.
Incredibles 2 is fucking a nothing film. My mum really likes that film.
Coco.
And thank God she doesn't listen to this. Thank God my mum doesn't listen to this. I just thought that Incredibles 2 is completely naff.
Oh wait, here's a big hot take. This is from the old one, the like old era Pixar. Ratatouille and WALL-E are shit. They're terrible.
I love WALL-E. WALL-E's fucking S tier for me. That's like top of the range. I prefer WALL-E to Ratatouille.
I like the vibe of WALL-E, but I didn't like the film. I'd never rewatch it.
It's a mood piece.
It is. It really is a mood piece. I love the video games and stuff. I love the character design and the world building. But I just thought the film was rubbish
Yeah,
at the time. In my humble opinion, as a 10-year-old boy.
I still haven't seen Onward, so that's like the last Pixar film I'm going to see. Toy Story 4 is B tier. Turning Red is also B tier. Lightyear, D tier.
Oh.
Lightyear is the most mediocre Pixar film ever.
That's classed as a Pixar film, yeah?
Yeah, which I didn't realize until right now. I thought it was just a Disney film.
Yeah, same.
So S tier, Finding Nemo, Incredibles, WALL-E, Toy Story 2. Did you disagree with any of them besides WALL-E?
I put Finding Nemo as a second tier.
A tier? Why would you put from the A tier up? What's an S tier?
S tier, it's I agree with Incredibles, Toy Story 2. Monsters Inc. I'd also put S tier.
Fair.
And yeah, I think the rest of them correct. I fully agree with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty like.
Oh wait, Up. I put Up a lot further. We disagree on Up though.
I don't really like Up.
Yeah, I put Up as an A tier, second tier.
A tier, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, we really disagree on that. I think in C tier.
This is where we clash.
Yeah.
Usually we never disagree.
I have Cars 3 as a C tier film. I have Cars 3 and Up in the same tier.
Wait, what?
I don't know if I'd agree with that right now, but anyway,
oh yeah, you really liked that one, didn't you?
It was much better than I thought it was. Than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the same level as Up.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And what's the DreamWorks?
DreamWorks one would be more interesting, I think. Oh yeah, let's do it live.
Let's do it live right here.
Wow.
No, I haven't seen
Boss Baby.
Okay, I haven't seen Ants. Where are you putting Ants?
Ants is B tier.
B tier?
Oh wait, sorry, no, A tier.
A tier?
Well, this is going to evolve as we get through, because most of these films are not very good.
B movie.
D tier for me.
Yes.
I hated that movie.
Fucking hate that film. I know it's a meme, but it's actually fucking terrible. Chicken Run.
Chicken Run, S tier,
S tier.
in my opinion.
I'll
my
go-
humble opinion.
I will go for
It's
A tier.
S or A.
Yeah, I'll go for S though. I will go for S. 'cause
Preliminary S for me.
Yeah.
But could change.
Flushed.
Subject to change. Flushed away. I'd go B. I'd go B tier.
Yeah, I go B or C.
Yeah,
I'll go
I
B.
wasn't a huge fan. A lot of people really like that film.
Home, haven't seen. Is that the second How to Train Your Dragon? That's also B tier.
Yeah,
I'm going to say the third How to Train Your Dragon. Have you seen this either?
I have not seen it.
I'm going to say C tier. No, B tier. It's a great end to this franchise. How to Train
First
Your
one,
Dragon?
A.
S.
S.
I'm putting up to S.
That's fair enough. I can't argue with it. I was a huge fan of the books.
Yeah. There's books to it.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
Full book series.
How to Train Your... Kung Fu Panda 2.
C tier.
C tier.
MO.
How to Train Your... Kung Fu Panda 3. I haven't seen it, so...
Neither have I.
Okay, man. Kung Fu Panda 1.
B tier.
B tier. Solid. Madagascar 2.
S.
S.
No. C tier, yeah.
Yeah, C tier. Madagascar 3. I haven't seen it.
Neither have
Okay. Madagascar 1.
I. S. It's one of the greatest films ever made. Megamind.
I'm letting you... Okay, right. I'm putting Megamind to S. I don't agree with... I think Madagascar is maybe A at best, but...
A at best.
At
Wait,
best.
You put it in a B.
I would... Yeah, I'd probably put Madagascar as a B.
God. I'd also put Megamind as either a B or an A.
Okay, right,
Maybe
so,
as a weak A or a strong B.
okay, well, that's all I'll do. That's an S or E. Monsters versus Aliens.
C.
Yeah, C.
Yeah.
Shark Tale, D. That film is dog shit. That film is so bad.
It's so annoying.
I don't
It's
know
so
what the
annoying.
fuck is that film.
Peabody and Sherman.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, right. Over the Hedge.
C.
C, yeah. Penguins of Madagascar.
I haven't seen it.
B tier. Prince of Egypt. I haven't seen that film in a very long time.
Yeah, neither have I. I'd put it B because I as a kid I put it as A, but like.
Okay, we're going for A because the music and it slaps.
Shit.
Puss in Boots, haven't seen.
Neither would.
Rise of the Guardians, haven't seen. Road to El Dorado. Have you seen Rise of the Guardians?
No.
Road to El Dorado.
You go beside Prince of Egypt. In my head, they're the same film.
Fair. Shrek 1.
Shrek 1, S tier.
S tier. Shrek 2.
S tier, of course.
Where's the SS tier?
Yes. The Shrek tier.
Shrek 3.
C.
Yeah, C.
Shrek 4 is D.
I don't know, I'm putting it C. I'm fighting for it to go to C.
Actually, no, yeah, you're right. Shrek 3 is actually worse than Shrek 4.
Yeah.
I'd put Shrek 3 actually at D.
You put Shrek 3 as D?
Yeah. Shrek 4 is slightly better.
Wait, that's Shrek. Oh, no, wait, that's Shrek 4. That's... See, that's confusing because the images are small. It says Shrek 3D. Sinbad. I've seen this film years ago, but I don't really remember it.
Yeah, neither do I really.
So, C. Spirit, I haven't seen.
It's probably B or C.
B? I'll fill out the B's a bit more. I don't know what that film is. What is that film?
Is that not Spirit again? No. It's Spirit 2. Yeah, Spirit 2.
Oh, have you seen?
Untamed.
Have you seen Spirit 2?
No.
Boss Baby, haven't seen.
Never seen it. The Croods.
Haven't seen.
Never seen.
Croods 2, haven't seen.
Boss Baby 2.
Haven't seen.
Trolls.
Trolls,
Never
haven't
seen.
seen.
What's that?
Trolls 2, haven't seen. Turbo,
Never seen.
never seen. Wallace and Gromit.
S.
Yeah, S.
S. Curse the Were Rabbit. That's a guaranteed S.
That is an S. There is more S tier films here than there is for Pixar.
Yeah, there's more films though, isn't there?
There's way more films. Joseph.
What was that? Is that the one about Joseph from the Bible?
Joseph.
King of... I don't really remember that.
Oh, that's... I don't know what that is.
I vaguely remember that face,
Okay.
but I don't remember the film.
Well, there's our list.
Wow. We're going to publish this on the Twitter.
Yep. Well, yeah. Actually, we'll take a screenshot of it and post it.
Yeah.
Take a screenshot right now. I'll take a screenshot of... we can do the Disney one after the break. And that can be our official rankings. Okay. Did you watch anything else this week?
Yeah, I had a look at a film called Wind River, which a lot of people have seen. It's on Amazon Prime at the moment. And I thought it was a different film. You know that film with Kevin Bacon and what's her name? Meryl Streep and where Kevin Bacon's this maniac and he holds Meryl Streep and her son and her husband hostage on a river.
Oh God, no.
Have you ever seen that? It's a really good.
No.
It's a really good movie. It's also about a river. I think river's in the title. But I thought this.
You thought this was that film?
Yeah, because people were like, "Oh, Wind River's really good." I was like, "Yeah." But then I realized I hadn't really seen it. But I know the director. It's the directorial debut of Taylor Sheridan, this fella. Who
a fellow
wrote,
Sheridan.
A fellow Sheridan, who he wrote Hell or High Water and Sicario.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a really good writer.
Did he write this as well?
Yeah, he wrote and directed this. Wait, I want to see that Kevin Bacon film.
Is this just a murder mystery film?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because like Hell or High Water and Sicario kind of follow the same rhythm. Because I remember I read Hell or High Water was like a script that went around for ages in Hollywood, and it only got made in like 2018. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, no, I've never seen it, but
it got made very recently. It's a good film, but
the script was like amazing.
Oh, the script was insane. Yeah, I remember I read the script. Back when I was getting the scripts in like 2014, 2015, it was just going around like it was just like it had like articles written about it, and you could download it and read it. And I read it, and it was really, really good. It's so easy to read a script as well. Like it's really fast because obviously the pages are very.
It's like reading a play, like.
Yeah, it's like reading a play. Yeah. But yeah, I really liked the script, but then it wasn't made for a while, and then eventually I went back to it. When it got made as a film with what's your man's name?
Yeah, I can only.
All the lads in Hell or High Water, and it's a good film, but it's kind of it's like a bit formulaic. It's a bit kind of like schematic. Like the structure is just like he seems like he has his structure in his head, and he has his character in his head, and they don't really change that much. Just based on like Sicario, and Wind River as well. In Sicario, you have like Emily Blunt, and you have Benicio del Toro.
Danny Clue is also in Sicario, isn't he?
Yeah. But like all the leads, all the protagonists in his films, he reminds me of Nick Pizzolatto, like the True Detective guy.
Yeah.
Because all the main characters in his films and his works are all pretty much the same person, just in like different
scenarios. Like
they're just kind of self-inserts in
Yeah.
different scenarios, which is fine. But it doesn't really.
Yeah, they're like
he doesn't really elaborate on like what he's trying to say.
they're like generic for that writer, kind of.
Yeah, which is it works. Like in the case of scenario. In the case of Sicario, it works because you have like a Villeneuve, who's like an amazing director, and you have all these crazy set pieces and great imagery. The music's really cool. Like the whole movie. Sheridan's a great screenwriter.
Yeah.
But like he needed like maybe everyone else to be also like pulling their weight.
Yeah.
And they have like a really good film in Sicario. Hell or High Water is also really good, but he didn't direct it. And he had like really good actors.
Yeah.
And this in Wind River, it's the same kind of script, same kind of story. But like it doesn't really have. There's no
bite to it.
Yeah. It's
a film. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film, but if you've seen Sicario and if you've seen Hell or High Water, you're not really. You've already seen it pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it's about a murder. It's a murder mystery, but it's also not a murder mystery. It's like more depressing. Like Hell or High Water is like a chase film basically. It's like about these two guys going across the country, like fleeing the authorities, doing bank robberies and stuff. And Sicario is obviously about like fighting the cartels and stuff. This is like it's about a murder in Wyoming on like an Indian reservation, and it's like Elizabeth Olsen's character, Jane Banner, is like a FBI agent who's like the closest, because obviously it's so remote out there. She's like the closest federal agent to the crime, and so she's called in, and it's about her trying to kind of like solve the murder.
Yeah,
and you also have Jeremy Renner, who's like a kind of like a tracker who works for the parks, and he's helping her solve the murder. But it's also like it's kind of like a neo-noir, just kind of it's like very introspective and depressing.
Yeah.
Because it has all these themes about like obviously in like Native American women, like they don't even count the statistics of how many go missing.
They just go missing. Yeah.
They just go missing. There's so many, it's huge amounts. It's just like it's not even really taught. Well, it is kind of talked about, but it's just completely ignored.
Yeah.
And it's there's like an end card after like the last scene in the film, just sort of talking about it
Mm.
and explaining, basically explaining what the film was trying to say. But the film doesn't really say anything about it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like the only Native American female character in the film is killed in like the first scene, and then there's a flashback, and like that's it. And the rest is just about kind of trying to solve her case.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like season 2 of True Detective, where he's trying to like answer all the criticisms of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But like he didn't really like understand, or just couldn't really kind of
Couldn't actually
couldn't
answer them.
consolidate and like
Yeah.
properly like kind of digest the criticisms in a way. Just in the sense that the themes aren't really there
Yeah.
about Native American women and just like the life on the reservation and stuff like that. It's just kind of, it's like a generic noir film, which is, it's a really good neo-noir like murder mystery film. But like what he was trying to do doesn't really pay off.
Yeah.
I think but it's still, it's like it's also marketed as a thriller. It's not really thrilling. It's like it is just a murder mystery kind of
Is
film.
it slow burn as well, is it?
Yeah, it's quite slow. Like you have Render's characters, is real mysterious, and eventually you find out that he's invested in the case not just because he kind of like he knows the families and stuff like that, but his daughter was also murdered, and he was like his Native American ex-wife is like really resents him, because like she kind of feels that he let it happen because he's like supposed to be the kind of the protector of the man versus wild, and she ended up getting killed anyway. But it's not really elaborated on. But it's like teased out so slowly. It's just like so unnecessary.
Man, this film sounds mad generic.
Yeah,
It just sounds like a noir film.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good.
But like that, like it's just a noir film.
Yeah, it's a noir thriller. I wouldn't even say thriller. Yeah, it's a noir murder mystery. Kind of like Galveston, I would compare it to. And just in that, it's underwhelming because I thought it would be better.
Yeah.
But it's still a good movie.
Yeah, my mum saw this film and she basically said the same thing after she watched it. She was like, "Yeah, it's good, but like, never gonna think about it again."
Yeah.
Just like it is a film.
Yeah, because there's so many movies like that, just about a murder, murky town, rugged detective, weird outsider guy who tries to solve the case as well. And it's pretty well written, but like as I say, like they're kind of stock characters. The lines, you can kind of like already hear the lines before they say them.
Yeah.
Because if you've watched his other films, but like the way this is coming across is like this film. I'm saying this film is shit. It's actually not shit at all. It's a good movie, but it's just not. It doesn't
do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere really. Is the only thing. I wouldn't go back to it. I wouldn't remember it. I wouldn't be like, oh, let's stick on Wind River.
Yeah, that's like that's such a weird thing when you have a film like that. You're like, yeah, it's good, but there's nothing to say.
Yeah,
or like nothing.
The ending is stupid as well.
Yeah,
the ending is really silly.
Like I had a similar experience. I watched.
It's cool, but it doesn't make any sense considering how realistic the rest of the film is.
Yeah, that's yeah. You've sold me on not watching this film, even though you said it's good. I just don't really want to watch it because
it's very short. It's an hour and a half.
Oh well, at least okay. Well then,
It has so many things going for it, but it just falters in different ways, which is just kind of annoying because he's a great writer, a lot of great actors, and it looks really good, but it's just some kind of deficit, just falls short a bit in different areas.
Yeah, that's disappointing. That's like when I always feel very disappointed when I'm like, yeah, I really like this film, and it's not like I really like the film, it's a good film, but that's all I can kind of say on it. It's like, yeah, it's good.
I'm just thinking how good it could have been.
That's
basically.
Yeah, it's extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
Like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, because you could have been a 9. You could have been even an 8. But you're just kind of you might as well have been
a 6.
Yeah, literally. You might as well have been a 6 because it's all kind of the same vibe. But that's just me disappointing myself, or us disappointing ourselves.
We expect too much in films.
Maybe Daz would love this film. If anyone's listening and
sold me on this.
if anyone's listening and their dad's looking for a film to watch, Wind River is a huge show.
It's a big dad film.
Yeah, you can watch it with your dad. Genre. Yeah, the dad genre of movies, the dad canon. So many films.
What else do you think is in that canon?
In the dad canon, The Accountant,
Saving Private Ryan,
Band of Brothers,
Braveheart.
Yeah, Braveheart. Man on Fire, with Denzel.
Platoon.
Platoon.
I'm just trying to think of war films. Like just
Mm.
generic war films. Black Hawk Down. I've
Yeah.
never even seen that film, and I know it is.
Yeah. What you call it? Hurt Locker.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
American Sniper.
Or Jarhead.
Yeah, I heard that there's stuff in Jarhead. There's cool, like, anti-war stuff in it, specifically for the time during Iraq and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, maybe watch Jarhead sometime. I've heard my cousin said Jarhead's very good. So, we'll give that a watch someday.
Someday.
Not today, though.
Not today.
Because we're going to go on our break.
Yes.
And we are back from the break once again. Talking about movies. Woo-hoo. This is no longer a tier list podcast.
Though it was for the last hour.
Yeah. Literally, that was one of the longest breaks you've ever done with your tier lists. They'll all be up on the Instagram and Twitter. People are going to be...
For your information. It's not... We don't want any responses to this. This is just laying out information.
Yeah, like, I feel like if anyone responds, it's like, oh, shut up.
We don't want your engagement.
I don't care if you love Lisa. She's a B tier character.
Fact.
No,
but we love engagement.
Yeah, we love engagement. Yeah,
but also, they are definitive lists.
Imagine if this, like, because you know the way things can go weirdly viral on Twitter for no reason.
Yeah.
I feel like one of our lists has the potential.
Yeah, it's just incendiary.
Yeah, you know what we should have done? Let's make a really controversial list, like that will purposely piss off people so that it gets massive engagement.
Let's do that right now.
Yeah, we'll do that after break.
The next break. In 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I need another tier list. Hook it to my veins.
I need it. Strap me up. Tear me up. Yeah, I watched a little film. It's
a big segue.
Big segue onto completely other things. Back to movies. I watched a film called Last Summer from 1969, directed by Frank Perry. Is that his name?
Frank Perry.
I think his name's Frank Perry. Let me double check that. But this is kind of a hard film to find anywhere. I had to go straight into the high seas to find this one.
Ahoy, hoy.
And Lost Treasure, this basically was. I can't find the letterboxes and load. But anyway, I think it's Frank Perry. But yeah, this film actually stars Mary Magdalene that was in Last Temptation.
Stars Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, it's a real old film.
Yeah, what was her name?
No idea.
Yeah, she's a good actress though.
Yeah, she's in this, and there's another actress called Catherine Byrne who's in this film.
I know her.
Yeah,
Catherine Byrne.
Catherine Burns. Yeah.
Oh.
Why?
It just sounds like an Irish name. Like.
Oh, sorry. I thought you did know her because she's...
No.
Because I think she got nominated for an Oscar for this, but she didn't win. And there's like two other dudes that have also been in a few bits. I can't remember either of their names though. But yeah, this is basically a coming of age film. In a sense where I'm gonna go into spoilers later on. I think that like if you take my word for anything, I recommend this film. But like, you know, bit of a content warning with this film. You know, this is a fucked up movie. But I'll get into spoilers later on. I'll just lay the groundwork for the film first. Basically, this film starts off with two young men walking on a beach, and they bump into another girl. I'm actually going to look up the characters' names because there's only 4 characters' names, so it's going to be easy to...
Peter, Dan, Sandy, and Rhoda.
They bump into Sandy. So Peter and Dan bump into Sandy, and Sandy is nursing a seagull back to life. She finds it, and it's not doing good. So Peter, and Dan bring the seagull back to Sandy's house on the beach, and they nurse the seagull back to life. And they form a weird little bond, the three of them. They have a few drinks together. They exchange secrets. They play in the sun. They go swimming. They take care of the birds. They go to the movies. They do a bunch of typical summer vacation shit.
Those were the days.
And then they meet Rhoda later on in the film, and Rhoda joins the crew, and there's like 4 of them. There's this weird tension throughout the entire film. This thing of like, something feels off. Like, from the get-go, something feels weird about this film. There's some like dreamlike quality to the entire film. I saw a Letterboxd review, which is one of the top reviews, and I'm going to take this point because I think it's a great point. The fact that the film's called Last Summer invokes this idea of like it being in the past. And when you're watching the film, like, especially because like this, like, if you find a rip of this film, it's from the VHS tapes. There wasn't a DVD release of this film. There's no Blu-ray of this film. It's just VHS. And because of that, the quality ain't great. But that adds to the vibe of this film in a way that's like grainy, like just like real 70s like grit to the film, kind of this like haziness to the film, I guess is the way to describe it. And like
dream-like quality.
Yeah, there's a real, and like the colors and stuff like that are like saturated and stuff like that. And like the first like note of where things are a bit weird is at the start. The 3, Dan, Peter and Sandy are all sitting down, and Sandy takes a sip of her drink, and she's like, truth serum, my top is wet. And these characters are meant to be like teenagers, and you're like, that's a weird thing to say. And then Dan or Peter is like really kind of taken aback by this, and he's just like, oh, I can't stop thinking of your top and stuff like that. And he's like, why don't you take it off? And Dan's like, yeah, I agree, why don't you take it off? So she takes off her top, and but like has, you know, a jumper on underneath, and they tell more stories and stuff like that. Dan tells a story about how he walked in on his mom and her boyfriend having sex, and he just walked out of the room. And then Peter tells a story of like making a sandwich for his little cousin, which was just like boogers, and feeding it to him. And it's like, this is kind of weird. And this kind of develops even further to where they're in a cinema and they're watching a film together, and Dan and Peter put their hands on Sandy and then put their hands up her top, and Sandy essentially manipulates the 2 boys into like, she talks about how she's like the smart, she's like an IQ of like 157, and she's like, she's young, she's beautiful, she's smart, but she's also has no empathy to anyone around her. And we see this through the seagull, because later on the seagull gets a bit better, and what they do is they tie a knot around the seagull and they fuck the seagull up into the air to make it fly, and it comes crashing back down, and they start laughing, like completely oblivious to the fact that the seagull is suffering and is in pain. And then Rhoda comes over. She's a younger girl. She's like less conventionally attractive than the 3 of them. She's essentially meant to be like this kind of she's a very lonely character, and like that's immediately obvious. Like when she comes over, she's like, why are you doing this? Like you're torturing this animal, leave it alone. And they're like, fuck off, you fat bitch, what do you know, and stuff like that, and like, leave us alone, mind your own business, what are you getting involved for? And then they just like fuck around for a bit, and then Rhoda, you know, kind of joins the group later on, but not before, or not until after the 2 boys stumble across the seagull. They find the seagull dead. They find the seagull with its head caved in. Someone smashed its head in with a rock, and they immediately go up to Sandy and they're like, why did you kill the bird? And she was like, why do you care? It was my bird. I owned it. I could do what I want with it. And they're like, but why did you kill it? And she's like, because I wanted to, because it bit me, it disobeyed me. And from that point, they get Rhoda to come into the group, and they ask her, oh, can you swim? And Rhoda's like, no, I can't swim. And they're like, oh, that will be our next project for the week. We'll teach you to swim. And from that point on, it becomes this real disturbing look into...
This sounds horrible.
Man,
It sounds horrifying.
It is. And but the thing is that there's the film, vibe wise isn't everything. It's real. It's hyper realistic. It's just shot the way it's shot. The characters, they don't. There's none. The film isn't.
It's not a horror film.
It's not a horror film. It's not shot or acted like a horror film, but just certain lines of dialogue just cut. And there's some really awful shit, just manipulation and psychological stuff that goes on, where Rhoda shows up later on in the film, and the three, Peter, Dan and Sandy, are after washing each other's hair, and it got real sexual between the three of them. And
classic.
Not full on writing at this stage, but
just a load of groping.
Loads of groping, and Sandy just knowing that she's essentially in charge of this group, because of her social status, the fact that she's unbelievably rich, she's hot and she's young, she's smart, as I already said, and the other thing to note as well about this film is that none of their parents are aware of anything that's going on. None of them. The parents are there, but are completely don't care. They're off doing their own things. These kids are left to their own devices. And what happens is that they get Rhoda to tell them a secret about her, and she describes how her mom drowned when Rhoda was younger, and that's obviously why Rhoda doesn't like to swim. But the way that the scene is played out is that Rhoda walks in and she's like, "Oh, you all washed your hair?" And Sandy's like, "Yeah, Peter and Dan washed my hair. I washed Dan's hair with Peter. Then me and Dan washed Peter's hair." It's just this big orgy of washing hair, essentially.
Damn.
And Rhoda scratches her head and she's like, "Oh, oh, my hair is so dirty and sandy from the beach all the time," and none of them, offer
to wash her hair.
To wash her hair or anything like that, until afterwards she tells them in depth about her mom's death, and something that she says, "I don't want to talk about," and they're like, "All right, fine," and then they just kind of ignore her to make her then talk about it. And then she talks about it, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll offer you the hand into the group that we'll wash your hair now," so they they wash their hair, whatever.
Symbolic initiation.
But not
into the group.
She's not in the group. She's
trapped in the group, or
she's
whatever.
Down the pecking order, and it's very the way that they depict Rhoda, and the way that she the way that scene where she's describing her mom drowning is a close up of Catherine Burns, one shot, just monologue, go, and it's rough. It's so rough. And just what she's describing, and then she describes afterwards how my mom had, when I was a little bit older, then I went to go to see my mom's grave and I spat on it because she had no right to die the way that she died, and she left me here all by myself. And Rhoda's clearly a girl that's
fucked,
just fucked and lonely, and has no one there for her, and these three manipulate and abuse her with that. And each of the those three characters aren't all the same. Peter is definitely the most sympathetic out of the three. He genuinely likes Rhoda at a certain stage, and he's he does really like her, but there's also this weird thing where he's trying to get her to swim, and he's like, "You do what I tell you to do." He starts to get really angry with her, and he's like, "Put your feet down." And then she's like, "Is there anything in the water?" And he's like, "It's the fucking ocean. Of course there's stuff there. There's crabs, there's eels." And then it turns into a joke,
Yeah.
But initially it wasn't a joke. Initially, like, he is like, put your fucking, do as I tell you to do.
Yeah.
And then there's Sandy and starts to get jealous over the fact that Rhoda is kind of pulling Peter away from Sandy, even though Sandy, you know, has Dan to fall back on and stuff like that. Okay, so this is where I'm going to get into full spoilers with this film.
Okay.
Later on in the film, Dan and Peter talk about how they want to have sex with Sandy. And Peter is way less into this idea. He's like kind of laughing it off, like, "Oh yeah, sure, we can do that, man." But like clearly, like, you know, his mate is kind of like edging him on to do this. He doesn't really want to do this. And so the three of them go off to go in the woods, and then Rhoda follows them along, and basically, the three of them rape Rhoda.
Oh.
And it's awful.
That's fucked.
It's fucked up. And
Jesus.
the way and it's like Sandy is the instigator of it all as well. Because seemingly, like, at that point in the film, it's like Sandy doesn't really want this to happen to her either. So she has an scapegoat right there in front of her. So just basically throws Rhoda underneath the bus.
Yeah.
And Peter initially isn't into it, but then he gets into, he's like, he's in, like, you know, he does it as well. This like awful herd mentality takes over, where one person is just like toxic and has no empathy to anyone around her. Like, all these people are pawns to Sandy, and Dan is just a horny teen that doesn't give a shit about anything. Like, there's a scene earlier on in the film where like Peter's like, "Do you love Sandy?" He's like, "Yeah, of course I do." And Peter's like, "But do you actually love her?" And he's like, "Well, you know, like,
yeah.
you know, I want to go my bit."
Yeah.
It's a disturbing film in the sense of there's nothing.
It sounds horrifically disturbing.
It is like it
sounds like too realistic almost, in terms of like just like the
way things happen.
Like this, like even like the symbolic kind of like like half initiation kind of stuff. Like, you know,
that's the thing.
It's like emotionally, like, you know, I seen Roger Ebert reviewed the film, gave it 4 stars out of 4. And the first line was, "It's very rare that you see a film that captures exactly what youth is like."
Yeah,
it's like, what fucking summers have you having made? Like,
no, but that's the thing.
Raping everyone, you know? What the fuck? You know? But like, yeah, like how you described it.
Yeah,
it's like that, like, you know, kind of like cynical, like nasty social dynamics. The
like,
people trying to figure themselves out, you know?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is like we've all been in a situation where, like, not where this film ends up, but like a situation similar to this.
Of like, it's like a Game of Thrones, but in social setting. Yeah,
like just like there's a clear hierarchy when you're younger to like popularity and like having desirable traits and, like, you know, using that to bully people. And like not even like full on bully them, but like they say to her, like, "Why don't you get a, like, the swimsuit you're wearing is rotten." And she's like, "What's wrong with it?" And she's like, they're like, "Why don't you get a bikini?" And she's like, "But I don't want to get a bikini." They're like, "Yeah, but you look much better if you did."
Yeah. That's like standard, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's, everyone's heard something like that.
And it's
you
like,
know?
but
that's how, you know, like Ebert had like the review talking about adolescence. Like this, the kind of, I don't know, it's like clamoring. It's like constant social clamoring. Yeah.
And wanting to be accepted.
Yeah.
Like, because Rhoda isn't, like, there's another bit as well where they go off. It kind of goes on a little detour for a bit where, like, Rhoda has, or Sandy sends off this, like, questionnaire thing to a computer, which will then match her up with a date.
Yeah.
And they get a Puerto Rican guy, which they find fucking hilarious, that they're going to go on a date with a Puerto Rican guy, and they get Rhoda to go on the date instead. But the three of them go along and they get him drunk, and the three of them just find it fucking hilarious that this single Puerto Rican man would
genuinely want to go on a date with someone. Like, essentially, they find a fucking gas that someone would do online dating, essentially. Because, like, what sad sap would do that? So they pure take the piss out of him, and he's oblivious to this, and Rhoda's like, this is really fucked up. But they're like, no, it's fine. We'll tell him afterwards that it's a joke, and he'll find it funny afterwards. But, like, obviously, he doesn't. They leave him to get beat up by these, like, people as well, and, like, they just run away laughing and stuff like that. Like, the way that, and even, like, the way that it's shot and, like, everything about the film initially feels like a summer vacation, like, fun film, but just has this undercurrent of, fuck me, there's something really awful going on here. And then that becoming literal towards the end. Like the review that I mentioned talking about it being like past tense, even said like, this is a summer that like that the characters will want to forget. And even like after the act is done at the end of the film, Peter, Sandy and Dan like stop and like kind of realize what they have done, and just walk away, and they all just walk away in silence. But like this, like kind of shock is in their eyes, like, oh fuck me, we've actually done something like unforgivable.
Yeah. That sounds traumatizing,
bro. That
sounds intense.
It's like one of the most and after I finished it, I was like, because when I was watching, I was like, yeah, this is pretty disturbing. And then because I kind of guessed where the film was going, like just from like the weird sexual tension that was going on throughout this film, and the fact that like it's mentioned in like the description, like, oh, it culminates in a violent act or whatever. So I kind of put two and two together and guess like, oh, someone's getting raped. That's an awful way to describe the
book. So you're like saying that out loud on your own, watching the film.
I'm watching the film, stroking my chin.
Oh my god!
And like it kind of signposts. It's like very obvious where the film is going. And when it happens, it's fucking awful. And I was sitting there afterwards, and man, I was just sitting there for like 10, 15 minutes after the film, like just thinking about it. I was like, the more I think about this film, the more disturbing and uncomfortable it gets. It's like retroactively you think about everything that happened in the film, like it just gets worse and worse in terms of being disturbing. Like the film leaves an effect on you.
Yeah, Matt, you laid it out well.
Thank
you. The escalation. You know, the social escalation into
horror.
Yeah. It sounds really interesting.
It's good.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a lost film, isn't it?
Yeah, like this. You can only really. You might be. There's probably streams of it somewhere, but I couldn't find them.
Yeah.
And the only rips of it are from a VHS. Like I have to emphasize this. This film. Like
you got this in extra vision.
This is like 240p quality. Like, like you're not gonna get a DVD or a Blu-ray. Like the
Criterion.
The only way that you can watch this film is by piracy. That's the only way that you can watch this film. Unless you want to pay £100 for a VHS copy, for which do you have a VHS player?
Yeah, I actually do have access to one.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there's one in storage. Yeah. An old one.
No way.
But I wouldn't pay £100 for this fucking nightmare. You just described it to me, and I'm like, I'm traumatized. You know.
Yeah.
But I do. Yeah. I want to watch it though because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Know?
I can. Yeah.
It sounds cool in a horrible way.
Yeah.
But like the kind of like what Roger Ebert was saying in like a really weird way. It's obviously we haven't all. That's not capturing what youth feels like, but it's like. It is.
Yeah,
it is. Like in a literal sense it isn't, but like the vibe that you just explained, yeah.
It's the vibe. Yeah. Even like it's also not an intensely graphic film. Like it isn't a graphic film.
It just culminates in something graphic.
It just culminates in something
which is
fucking horrific.
Yeah.
The rape is pretty graphic, but like not like incredibly graphic, but it's not like fucking irreversible or anything like that. It's such a bizarre, horrible film that's fantastic. Like, it's
What would you give it out of 5?
5.
5?
I'd give it a 5.
I have to watch this.
Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, fuck me, that was awful. God, that was a horrible film.
Yeah.
But, like, in the best possible way.
Yeah. That's good. Like, you know, that's a good reaction for art. You know, that's the whole point.
You think about it afterwards, which is the best thing I can say about a film. Like,
That's
this film is. You're gonna be thinking about this film for a while after you watch it.
Yeah. I'll have to. How long is it?
9, even less. I don't even think it's 90 minutes. I think it's 85 minutes.
Oh, I'll have to give this a watch. Yeah. There's something like seriously horrifying. Obviously, there's loads of horror films about like, you know, growing up and stuff and like adolescence, but like there's something about like the social dynamics.
Yeah, especially
which isn't hugely kind of. It's not a huge theme, but it is. It's more like Cronenberg is loads about like the physical aspect of growing up. But and there's like loads of other horror films, but like the social kind of like, you know, it's a fucking. It's like the fucking law of the jungle, you know?
Yeah.
It's like monkeys growing up and becoming humans and figuring out how to do that, you know?
That's such, it's literally monkeys growing up that can like talk.
To be real,
and
and
then,
to be real people.
And then they grow up to be humans.
Yeah.
Especially when it's just like, because you can knock it off being like, it's innocence being corrupted, but it's like, it's not even like these characters didn't. Like, Rhoda is the only character that really had innocence, and Peter to an extent until the end. They're characters that have very, and even Peter, like in the tier list, Sandy, Dan, Peter, Rhoda. There's a massive gap between Peter and Rhoda in terms of innocence. Like a fucking Grand Canyon difference. But it's the lack of empathy is also just like. Oh, like teenagers don't care about other people, and like when you like, there's been a lot of examples recently in Dublin of just like teenagers being the fucking worst human beings imaginable.
And that's just because it's all film now.
Yeah,
it wasn't even 10 years ago. It wasn't. You wouldn't have as much footage, or even if you did have footage, you wouldn't be able to spread it.
Yeah,
like you see a lot of it on like Twitter and stuff. Or like Facebook, you'd have like your CCTV of like horrible attacks, whatever. That wasn't really a thing 10 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
The CCTV would be there, but like it'd be a small byline in the newspaper, like that happened.
And you wouldn't see it online, like.
Obviously. Yeah. It's just like it's not even. It's not like the youth they're terrible these days. It's just like how it's always been.
It's always been this way.
Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing something before, where it was something like. You could, like, the person was like, I would be more afraid of a 10-year-old with a gun than a 40-year-old man with a gun, because the 10-year-old can't actually comprehend the consequences of their actions. And that's a similar thing in this film, where these characters don't see or can't see the consequences of like what they are doing.
Yeah.
Like they're only thinking about themselves and what they're enjoying, and less so about the other. And then that, in the end, seem to like in the worst possible way, have some realization we're after destroying someone's life.
Yeah.
And there's no going back from it.
That's fucked.
It's fucked. And they're not even the victims to it, like.
Yeah. Oh, there's 4 kids.
Yeah. Oh, those poor rapist kids.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that's intense. Sounds really cool though.
Oh, it's a whopper film.
Last summer, because I looked this up. I saw it on the docket and I was like, last summer, and first result was The Last Summer, a rom-com on Netflix from 2019. I was like, why did I want to watch that? It's the exact opposite of what I pictured. The exact opposite. It couldn't be further from what I pictured in my head. I had your man from fucking Riverdale. He stars in it, you know.
Oh, no way.
Fucking Archie or whatever.
Yeah, this is like if
Archie Comics fucking in hell or something, you know.
Someone described this film as like if you left like the Goonies or something out in the sun for too long.
Yeah. Lord of the Flies, like, you know.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I got. I remember reading Lord of the Flies, and like the general reading is obviously like, you know, the breakdown of society and stuff.
Yeah,
but like you know, when we read it. I don't know if you did in school. But
I found a copy. What I used to do when I was when we were in secondary school is I would go to after school study, and then I'd ask her to go to the toilet, and then I would make my way to the Lost and Found, and I would pick up a copy of whatever book was there. I read No Country for Old Men that way. I read Lord of the Flies that way. I read a bunch of novels that people were just kids had left it behind. I was like, well, this is. I would see it on the Monday. And then come back on Friday and it's like, this thing has been here for a week. I'm taking it now.
Yeah, that's so cool. You know?
Great way to get books.
Yeah. That's
especially,
great.
Especially
and you obviously love the books as well.
Yeah.
Got into loads of cool books.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's how I read Lord of the Flies. I was like, wow, that was fucking horrifying.
That's actually a really cool story.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're pretty the same. Like, we read it around the same age.
Yeah.
I was like...
It's a perfect teenage book.
Yeah, I think I was just 13. I think it was in like second year or something we read it. And but all I took away with it is just fucking
kids are
kids.
evil.
Yeah. It was like the dynamics of being an adolescent.
Yeah, I much prefer that reading of it than it being society breaking down.
Because it's about kids. Like if he could have written a book about anyone, but they're about kids.
Yeah,
they're all kids in the novel, and that's it really it's when you read it like that, it's just as a kid especially, it's horrifying. It's a horrifying story. When they kill Piggy, that proper shook me when I read it. Man,
when I was reading the book as a teenager, I was and I was in school, I was man, I was just imagining if I was in this situation with my classmates, I can see the people that that would be.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Whoever the main kid is, the leader of the flies, the Lord of the Flies,
Lord,
not the actual pig head that they find, or whatever the fuck it is. I was in class, I was yeah, that'll be you fucking sick fuck.
Yeah, you could see it. This is
look at your brother Carl, you sick bastard.
Oh, classic Carl. Yeah, but it sounds disturbing in the same way.
Yes, yeah, no.
In a way, I still think about Lord of the Flies all the time. It's stuck with me, but not in a negative way.
No, just in pure horror.
Yeah, appreciation of the art as well,
They get saved at the end of it as well, don't they?
Yeah, but they've lost their innocence.
Yeah, which is
it's the same as this one.
Yeah.
Saved, but they're fucked.
Saved, but
and also people have been fucked up. Piggy's dead.
Yeah, Piggy's gone.
Oh,
yeah. Man, Lord
and
of
the
Flies.
Description when he dies. Oh my god.
Yeah, what happens when he falls off? He cracks his head. And
cracks his head and they describe his head.
And he cries out and something like that as well. He's asking for help.
Yeah,
something like that. It's not a quick death for old Piggy.
Oh, poor Piggy.
Poor Piggy.
Yeah.
Other kids die as well, don't they? Or is it just Piggy?
I think it's just Piggy. And then because he dies, and then things escalate a little bit, and then
they chase the main guy through the woods and all.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then that book is great.
Yeah, it actually is.
It's a great book.
Nice and short as well.
Yeah, it's only 150 pages.
Ooh.
Banger. Do you know what else is banging? Our listener questions.
Fact.
If you want to ask us a question, you can hit us up on Twitter or on Instagram at @paro_pod. Or you can send us an email, theparopod@gmail.com. Our first questions are coming in from Hannah. Hannah is asking us, do you think movies should include breakdancing more?
Yes.
Yes, I think more dance sequences are needed. What are two good dance sequences that come to mind in your head that aren't in dance films?
Slumdog Millionaire.
Fact.
Shrek after the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I think a dance. I think you can't beat a dance. I think Bollywood goes way over the top. I watched a Bollywood film the other day. I'm not sure what it was about. It didn't have any subtitles or anything. I was just kind of skipping through it. It had a dance sequence every half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much. Way too much.
Or has a dance sequence and it fucks. It's so good.
Yeah, but I love it as a culmination of a dramatic surge.
Yeah.
After the surge.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Shrek 2. We always go back to Shrek.
Shrek 2 is
it's the perfect film.
Yeah.
But it's such a it's such a feel good. You had the feel good ending, and then And then everyone, and then you have fucking La Vida Loca, and you're like, I just want to get up and like, you leave with a big smile on your face.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Oh, I actually, that is, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
like
you
films,
walk out, you feel like you can take on the world.
Yeah, films that end in like a dance sequence are just like ultimate vibes, ultimate good vibes.
That's the key as well.
Us, like, I know, like the other Jordan Peele film that I haven't really talked about, but
Us has a dance sequence.
Yeah, it's not a full-on dance sequence. It's a scene where like the main villain and the like Lupita, what's her name? Lupita
Nyong'o.
Like her and her, like, you know, underground, what they're called, version of her. The two of them are like, she's trying to like slash her, and like Lupita's like the two of them are essentially dancing around each other while she's slashing her, and it's like intercut with Lupita as a child doing ballet, and it is fantastic. Oh, it's the best scene in the entire film. It's great. It's Always Sunny has a dance sequence as a season finale, and it like I was stoned and it brought me to tears. It brought me to tears, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's what you want. An emotional reaction.
Yeah, because like I wouldn't really say I don't like musicals that much.
Nor do I.
But I think dance, if done well, can be extremely evocative and emotional.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's your body telling a story.
Yeah, it's a different form of expression. Yeah,
the ultimate form of expression.
Yes, the most basic. You know.
Yes.
Everyone can get it.
Yeah.
No matter what language you speak, you're like, that person's vibing.
That dude's having a good time.
Yeah.
Or, man, that dude is not having a good time.
Yeah. like all those Bollywood sequences, we can watch them. I don't understand what they're saying, but like,
I get
you can get the story from how they dance. Just the emotional reaction. Another one in the Shrek 2 vein, Tropic Thunder. Same placement in the film.
Heads up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise.
That is a great. That's like, because that's the same thing. You have a great ending, and then you have a dance sequence as the credits roll, which just leaves you like, this is
Whopper.
funny.
Also,
this is great.
Leaving the cinema happy.
Yeah,
just after rereading the question, and it's actually, should they include
break
dancing? No. But so we're gonna keep going with the break out into dance.
Yes, breaking out into dance. I think that's what she meant.
Yeah. Break dancing. Fuck no.
What even is
Step
that?
Up.
Step up to the streets.
I've never seen any of the Step Up film. Well, no, it's a lie. I have seen one of them. I think.
I lie.
I lie. I've seen a Step Up film, so I've seen them all.
Yeah. They can't really change, you know.
No.
There's only so many directions you can step. You know.
No, there's only one, and it's up.
Up.
Do you want to take our other question there?
Hannah's next question is: do you think you'll get married? Very personal question here.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. I mean, what else am I going to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah, fact. Same. I'll definitely get married at some point.
What's your thoughts on marriage?
What do you mean?
Do you think it's a farce?
I think it's great. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. I don't know. A farce. You could never say that.
That's
what they want us to think.
You know that people are like, oh, weddings and marriages. Well, not let's say marriage maybe, but weddings is like a big farce.
Well, like, you know the way weddings cost like 30 grand and stuff?
That's a fucking joke.
Obviously, I think girls like that stuff, but I wouldn't. If I had my own wedding.
Would you have a themed wedding?
No, absolutely not. I would not have a themed wedding. But like, if I had full creative control, financial control over my wedding, you could do that. Like you could throw a really good party, like for like $5 grand. You know, less. Obviously, you don't want to be cheap, but like,
what's the most?
They cost so much.
What's the most expensive part of the wedding? Is it the venue?
It's just because it's caterers and stuff, isn't it? Yeah, and the venue. But like, they're all places which make money or in business because they're wedding venues, wedding caterers, so they charge more. It's a scam. I say same with like rings and stuff. You know,
man, diamonds are a fucking scam.
yeah, yeah.
Diamonds are a legit scam.
Like a literal scam. But you're still, even today, like we're in the modern era, it's 2022, but you're still kind of expected to spend fucking huge amounts on a ring, like fair, like a nice ring, fair enough, that's grand. But like a diamond, and it's like costs like 2-3 grand. What the fuck? What's that about?
I saw a clip on TikTok of this woman asking Steve Harvey if she was wrong for expecting, because she was always brought up being told that a man should spend 2 or 3 months' salary.
Yeah, 3 months is like the rule of thumb.
3 months' salary on a wedding ring, and like her husband said that's fucking ridiculous, and she was asking Steve Harvey, and he was like, where the fuck did you learn that? He was like, why the fuck would you spend that much money on a ring?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank you, Steve Harvey. I completely agree. Who the fuck is spending fucking 6-7 grand on a fucking ring?
I know, it's insane. Because like, fair enough, like maybe back in the day, I think it's like an old timey thing, but like back when like you could make like a man on his own would have the income to support like a wife and like
just
2
a family,
kids. Yeah. So like obviously he has a lot of extra income and he can save up, 3 months salary. That's also like a fucking load of, that's actually a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's actually even more money than it is now, isn't it?
Yeah. But the cost of living is more.
Yeah,
now.
it costs. Yeah. It's like it doesn't map.
Listen, we're living in a world where
I rent to pay.
where wages have gone up. What is it, like something like
wages have flatlined.
Wages have flatlined, but like wages have gone up, say 100% since like 1950, but the cost of living has gone up 300%.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
Like it's 3 times more It's 300% more expensive to live now than it was back then, but the wages have only gone up 100% or something like that. I can't remember the maths off the top of my head. I've seen this like a few times online. I haven't done my own research on this, but I believe Twitter and TikTok.
It's true.
They tell me what I want to believe.
They don't lie. They don't
lie. So like I'm not like get fucked essentially.
Yeah.
Like fine, I'll spend 3 months salary on a wedding ring. But bitch, you are fucking paying for those 3 months, for everything for those 3 months.
You're paying for the wedding.
Yeah, you're paying for the wedding
on your own.
On your own. Your dad, your dad. Isn't it something that the wife's dad has to pay for the wedding?
The dowry.
Yeah, yeah. Where's my dowry?
Yeah, man, they had dowries back when they were spending 3 months' wages.
Yeah,
on the thing. I'm not. Yeah,
3 months salary. Fine. Where's my 10 grand dowry? Is your dad gonna give me a bunch of land? If not, get fucked.
Yeah, definitely. Like 3 weeks, 3 weeks wages, push the boat out. Fair enough. Yeah. 3 months, not a hope.
What a ridiculous amount of money to spend on something as well.
That's an insane amount of money. Like you could spend that, like you could put it on the deposit. That's definitely not a thing these days. With people that like, no, normal people anyway, but like, just the idea of it is insane. And weddings in general, just like.
Weddings are so expensive.
Because people get like engaged and then they get married like 3 years later.
How much are you? Yeah,
because or they get married
cost too much.
and they have the wedding like 2-3 years later. Just because it's just so insanely expensive. Like just have like a smaller thing, surely. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm unromantic.
No, because is it nearly cheaper to go to a different country and have your wedding there?
Yeah, I suppose
it might be. Which I feel like is nicer.
I've actually heard about a few location weddings.
Yeah,
recently. Just like
I'm not paying for your fucking flights. You have to pay yourself to get over there.
Yeah. So like, yeah, maybe it is a wiser financial decision to do that. Get married in fucking Syria or something.
Qatar or something.
Get married in a mosque in Syria. You don't have to have your wedding at the church as well. That's not even like most weddings are outside the church, aren't they? Yeah. So like,
I'm on my wedding in a fucking church. You joking me?
Yeah.
Like we can do my ideal wedding is you do the legal one, whatever the fuck that thing is, where like you do the legal wedding and then you do like a vague ceremony somewhere else.
A vague ceremony.
You're gonna initiate my wedding.
Initiate. I'm the guy.
Yeah, the dude.
The priest.
You're gonna be the Joey.
Yeah.
In Friends.
I will accept the role with honor, with great appreciation. I can't wait for the day. We're gonna have a free bar, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I need at my wedding. Free bar.
Yeah, free bar. Yeah. There's a few things I need at my wedding. I need decent food. I need speeches down to an absolute fucking minimum. An absolute minimum. Like, you're getting 15 minutes, 10 minutes to do your speech, and then you get... Man, some
Are
people...
there longer ones?
Man, some people go on for an hour.
How many weddings have you been? I've actually never been to a wedding.
I've never been to a wedding
Never
either.
been to a wedding.
My mum was at a wedding recently where the best man talked, I am not joking, for 45 minutes.
About what? If I was best man at my brother's wedding, I would, like, 45 minutes.
I'm like, I don't know why you married him. He's a prick.
yeah. You hit him with the great joke. Everyone laughs. So you're like, oh, see you.
Yeah, that's it.
You know? You go out on a high.
Yeah.
45 minutes. Like, there's no way you could have the rhythm. And, like, I would have the foresight to know where I'm going. I'd like, lose track.
Well, people write their speeches, don't they?
Yeah, but, like, you have to learn it often. I'm not, like...
I just have no cards.
You have your cards. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember this time when he was a kid. And no one cares. Let's open the bar.
Yeah.
We can talk about all this stuff at the bar.
Yeah. If you want to know any of these stories, come up to the bar. If not,
If you want to hear my speech, just come to me personally.
Yeah.
After 4 or 5 pints.
Yeah. And then I'll burn the ear off you.
Yeah, they'll be asking me to stop. Ooh, booing me to my face.
Like in the fucking, like I'm gonna be like some fellow workman smoking here, just like not leaving you alone, just burning the ear off you, telling you about fucking shit stories about my best mate. Yeah, I know. Weddings though, yeah. Do I think I got married? Yeah.
Yeah.
In this era, in this economy, you'd want to be getting married.
Oh yeah, tax incentives.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it there for this week. And for episode 99, we have...
That's a big number.
The Stone Tape. Yeah, 99. Stone Tape, 1973. Nigel Neal, I think his name is, directed it. Loads of different things to talk about. I'm sure. I've never seen it.
Can't wait.
So, yeah, can't wait either.
Buzzing.
Buzzing.
See you
Bye.
all next week. Bye.